All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're putting the stock BBAI under the microscope for a full technical checkup. We're going to decode all the jargon and the complex charts to get a really clear diagnosis of its current health. So this is where we stand as of December 20th, 2025. $6.26. But, a single price point like this, it's really just one frame in a much, much bigger and more volatile movie.
And that's the big question on everyone's mind, right? After a pretty wild ride these last few months, where is this thing headed? Is it about to take off, or is there more turbulence ahead?
Well, to really figure that out, we can't just look at the price on the surface. We've got to dig deeper. The real clues, the answers we're looking for, they're buried in the technical data. You could almost think of it like the stock's DNA.
And yeah, when you first lay eyes on that data, it can look like a totally different language, right? It's just a wall of numbers. That's exactly why we're here, to break it all down, piece by piece, and make sense of it.
Okay, so let's get into it. And with any good checkup, you've got to start with the big picture. What's the overall story here? What has this stock's journey been like lately?
Think of this first part as just checking the patient's vitals. We're trying to see if this stock has a healthy pulse, a strong uptrend, or if it's showing some concerning signs, like a downtrend. Or maybe it's just flatlining, moving sideways.
And wow, what a ride it's been. It's been a total roller coaster. We saw it shoot up to over $9 back in October, then it just cratered to around $5 in November, and now it's clawed its way back to where it is today.
Now this is where things get really interesting. See, the current price is sitting right on top of its short-term 20-day average. But look at the long-term 200-day average. It's still way above that. What does that tell us? It hints that even with all this recent chaos, there might be some solid long-term strength under the surface.
Okay, but how strong is the current trend? Is it really going somewhere? For that, we turn to a cool little indicator called the ADX. Basically, it's a trend strength meter. Doesn't matter if it's up or down, the higher the number, the stronger the push in that direction.
And look at this. BBI's reading is just 12.36. That is really low. So this is our first huge clue. It's telling us loud and clear that despite all the crazy price swings, the stock has no real direction right now. It's just drifting sideways.
All right, so if the trend is flat, what about momentum? Is there any pressure building up one way or the other? Let's move on to our next diagnostic and check the stock's heartbeat.
And for that, our go-to tool is the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. It's all about the speed and change of price. You know the drill. Above 70 is considered overbought, below 30 is oversold. And BBAI, it's sitting at 50.46. I mean, you can't get more dead center than that. And this really sums it up perfectly. We're in a state of perfect equilibrium. It's a tug-of-war, and right now, neither the buyers nor the sellers have an edge. It's a complete standstill.
But, the market loves to throw us a curveball. Just when the RSI suggests perfect balance, another super important momentum indicator is kind of telling a different story.
And that's the MACD. Now, you don't need to get lost in the numbers here. The one thing to see is that the faster MACD line has dipped below the slower signal line. In the world of trading, that's what's known as a bearish crossover. It's a classic little signal that for now, the short-term momentum has tilted in favor of the sellers.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got a sideways trend, and the momentum signals are basically fighting each other. So next up in our checkup, let's look at the stock's personality. Is it calm or is it jumpy? And maybe most importantly, is the trading volume, the crowd, backing any of this up?
To figure out its personality, or its volatility, we use something called Bollinger Bands. The easiest way to think about them is like a channel or a river that the price usually flows within. When the bands get wide, things are volatile. When they pinch together, things are calm.
So here's the key takeaway. The current price is basically just hugging that middle band. It's not challenging the highs at the upper band, and it's not testing the lows at the bottom. This just doubles down on what we've already seen. This stock is coiling up, stuck in a neutral zone.
But hold on, because this is where a new piece of the puzzle comes in, and it's a big one, the volume. Look at this. Trading has been 68% higher than usual. What does that mean? It means a lot of people are paying attention. There's a big crowd gathered here, but that crowd is still completely undecided on which way to push the price.
All right, we've run the tests, we've checked the trend, we've measured the momentum, we've looked at the volatility. Now it's time to bring it all together for the final diagnosis from our technical checkup.
So, after all that, what's the bottom line? The report gives BBAI an overall technical score of 37.21 out of 100.
Now, in this scoring system, anything under 50 is generally considered neutral to slightly bearish. So it's definitely not getting a clean bill of health.
So let's just lay it all out one more time. 1. The trend is weak, basically flat. 2. Momentum is a mixed bag, the RSI is neutral, but the MACD is flashing a bearish signal. 3. Volatility is neutral, the price is just hanging out in the middle. And 4. The volume is super high, which means there's a ton of interest but no conviction. It is the absolute definition of technical indecision.
So with everything in this kind of gridlock, what are traders watching for? It all comes down to two key battle lines. The bulls, the buyers, they need to see a convincing push above 650. And the bears, the sellers, they're waiting for it to crack below 586. Whichever side wins that battle will likely dictate where this stock goes next.
And that's the big question we're left with, isn't it? Is all this indecision just a pause, or is it an opportunity? You have all this interest, all this volume, coiling up in a tight price range. It really feels like the quiet before the storm. The technicals are showing a perfect standoff between buyers and sellers, but a standoff like that can't last forever. A big move feels like it could be just around the corner.